friends, Miss Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This month, all of our story times are about springtime. And this week, we're going to talk all about gardens. But first, we need to sing our welcome song and we need to get our clapping hands ready. So we're going to wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, really fast, really fast. And put them on our knees. Okay, here we go. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, clap your hands. All right, what do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, stomp your feet. What do we do after we stomp our feet? That's right, we twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, twirl around. All right, for our last verse, we're gonna be as quiet as we can. And we're gonna whisper, hooray! If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you wanna read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you wanna read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Okay, friends, our theme song this month is Grow, Grow. We are going to pretend that we are seeds all curled up and then slowly growing and blooming. Here we go. Grow, grow, grow and bloom, stretching into being. Raise your stem and spread your leaves. It is finally spring. Yay! Our first book today is Lola Plants a Garden, written by Anna McQuinn and illustrated by Rosalind Beard-Shaw. And there's a great little rhyme right in the beginning that says, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. That's important to remember for later. Lola loves her book of garden poems. Hey, we read some poems about gardens last week, didn't we? Yeah, in our story time all about flowers. Her favorite poem is the one about Mary, Mary. That's the one that we just read, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Lola wants to plant a garden. Mommy says there is room near the vegetables. Lola gets books about gardens from the library. She chooses her favorite flowers from the books. Mommy makes a list. They go to the garden store to buy seeds. What flower is on this bag that she had got from the garden store? What does that look like to you? Looks like a sunflower to me. Those are very tall flowers, aren't they? Lola and Mommy make the garden. The seed packets mark where the flowers are planted. That way they remember what is supposed to be growing there. Lola will have to wait a long time for them to grow. That is something you learn with gardens, patience. So Lola makes her own flower book while she waits. Mommy types the Mary, Mary poem, and Lola glues it in. What a great idea. Lola makes a string of bells. She finds some shells and some old beads. She even makes a little Mary, Mary. So it sounds like she's decorating her garden like the one from the poem, don't you think? One day, Lola sees tiny green shoots. She pulls up weeds so the shoots can grow. The shoots are that little green part that you see in the picture that's just growing right above the dirt. That is the very beginning of the flowers. Right? They're growing and blooming and stretching into being. Lola's flowers grow bigger. They open up to the sun. Oh, it looks like she planted some sunflowers. Look at how tall they are. Daddy helps Lola hang her shiny bells. Lola finds Mary, Mary a special spot. It is just perfect. Orla, Ben, and Ty are coming to see Lola's garden. Those are her friends. So Lola and Mommy make cupcakes. Lola wears her flower shirt and Mommy helps Lola with her hair. And look, what does she have in her hair? More flowers. Lola's friends love everything about her garden. They share the crunchy peas and sweet strawberries that Mommy grew. Ooh, doesn't that sound like a yummy snack? Then Lola makes up a story about Mary, Mary. What kind of garden will Lola plant next? What do you think? What kind of garden? She has a flower garden. It sounds like her mom has a vegetable and a fruit garden. What kind of garden would you plant if you had your own garden? Now in the back of the book, there's a new poem that goes like this. Lola, Lola extraordinary, how does your garden grow? With flowers, seeds, and shells, and beads, and happy friends, all in a row. The end. Our next song is called My Little Garden, and it is about 3 of the important things that you need to help with your garden so that things will grow and bloom. So we've got 3 verses we're going to sing with 3 different actions. First verse is all about the sun shining. So we're going to be the sun, shine, shine, shine. The second verse is about the rain that drip, drip, drips. And the third verse is about the seeds that grow, grow, grow. Are you ready? Here we go. Sun in the sky, shine, shine, shine. Sun in the sky, shine, shine, shine. Sun in the sky, shine, shine, shine. Help me with my garden. Rain from the clouds, drip, drip, drip. Rain from the clouds, drip, drip, drip. Rain from the clouds, drip, drip, drip. Help me with my garden. Seeds in the dirt, grow, grow, grow. Seeds in the dirt, grow, grow, grow. Seeds in the dirt, grow, grow, grow. Help me with my garden. Yay! Sometimes in storybooks, there are little garden gnomes that live in the gardens and help take care of them. So I have a little gnome friend right here, and he is going to hide away in one of his mushroom homes, and we are going to see if we can find him. Are you ready? Here we go. Garden gnome, where can you be? Are you inside your... What color is this mushroom? That's right, red. Are you inside your red mushroom home? Let's look and see. Nope, No garden gnome. Garden gnome, where could you be? Are you inside your pink garden home? Let's look and see. Nope, no garden gnome. Garden gnome, where could you be? Are you inside your orange mushroom home? Let's look and see. Yep, there is our garden gnome friend. Good looking friends. Let's play again. Garden gnome, where could you be? Are you inside the blue mushroom home? Let's look and see. No garden gnome. Garden gnome, where could you be? Are you inside the yellow mushroom home? Let's look and see. There he is! Hey, garden gnome friend. Good detective work, friends. Our last book today is Grandpa Green, written and illustrated by Lane Smith. Grandpa Green. He was born a really long time ago. Look at this picture. What is this picture of? That's right, a baby. And what does the baby look like it's made out of? Do you know? Yeah, a plant or a hedge. Hedges are a kind of bush that sometimes people trim and cut into different shapes so that they look like people or animals. And this one looks like a crying baby. So Grandpa Green was born a long time ago, before computers or cell phones or television. And look, there's our baby hedge. And then look, there's some other hedges that are in some different shapes too. Interesting. He grew up on a farm with pigs and corn and carrots. What does this hedge look like? Yeah, it looks like a giant carrot, doesn't it? And look, there are some real bunnies hiding and hopping around the hedge carrot. So there were carrots and eggs. And in 4th grade, he got the chicken pox. Not from the chickens. And look, there's a hedge that looks like it has chicken pox. Do you know what chicken pox are? I had chicken pox when I was little, but most kids get vaccines or shots so that you don't get chicken pox anymore. And chicken pox would give you these little red bumps all over your skin, and they were so itchy, but you weren't supposed to scratch them because then they could, it was like scratching a scab, you know, on your skin, and it could start to bleed and it would really hurt, but it would still be itchy. And so sometimes you would get scars afterwards on your skin from all the chicken pox if you itched them too much. Oh, it was rough. I still remember, and I think I was probably only 4 years old when I got the chicken pox, just like Grandpa Green. Because he had the chicken pox, he had to stay home from school. That was an important part of it, because if you had chicken pox, you could give the chicken pox to other people too, and then they would get sick. So you would stay home or quarantine so that you wouldn't spread the chicken pox to other kids. And that's what Grandpa Green did. He stayed home from school. So he read stories about secret gardens and wizards and a little engine that could. Do you recognize some of the characters from these hedges? I don't know if you'll know these stories yet, but there's a lion and a scarecrow and a tin man and a little dog. And look in the background, there's a house being swept up into a tornado. Do you know what this book is? It's called The Wizard of Oz. And there's some movies too that you might have seen. And The Little Engine That Could, that's a classic. In middle school, Grandpa Green stole his first kiss. And after high school, his wish was to study horticulture. Do you know what horticulture is? It's the study of how things grow, especially in gardens. But instead, he went to fight in a world war. What do these hedges look like? Yeah, we have a cannon that's shooting a cannonball. We have an airplane flying high. And we have a paratrooper, right? Somebody attached to a parachute that looks like they've jumped out of the plane. This garden has all kinds of stories in it, doesn't it? He met his future wife at a little cafe. And when the war was over, they were married. Oh, look at that. Look at that big wedding cake hedge. Looks like it has two little people on top, a bride and a groom. They had many happy years together and never, ever fought. At least to hear him tell it. They had kids, way more grandkids, and a great-great-grandkid. Me. So that's the friend that's telling the story. Grandpa Green's great-great-grandkid. He used to remember everything. Now, he's pretty old. And he sometimes forgets things, like his favorite floppy straw hat. Where did he leave it? Yeah, on top of the elephant hedge. But the important stuff, who do we get to see for the first time? Yeah, I bet that's Grandpa Green. And look, he's using a special tool to cut and shape the hedges in his garden. The important stuff, the garden remembers for him. Now this is a cool part of the book. So we have these 2 pages that just look like a giant hedge, but then we open them and we see a big panoramic picture of the garden. So we see all of the little pieces of the story we were just told. We see the rooster on the farm and the little boy with the chicken pox. And we see the girl with the first kiss and the cannonball from war. And we see some other parts of the story that we haven't heard yet, like fighting a sea serpent and the wedding cake. We remember that part of the story. Oh, and look, there's so much that's happening in Grandpa Green's garden. How wonderful. And now look, what is this very last picture? What is our narrator, the great-great-grandkid, what is he doing? Yeah, he's adding to the story in the garden, and he's trimming a hedge to look like Grandpa Green. That's right. I think the story of the garden and the story of Grandpa Green and his family is going to continue with this new gardener that's helping in the garden. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's going to be great. All right, friends, this is the end of our garden story time this week. And the weather has been lovely. I hope you get a chance to go outside and enjoy this lovely spring weather. Maybe work in your own garden or maybe just enjoy someone else's garden. But now it's time for our goodbye song. We read a book and we played a game and we sang a song together. We read a book and we played a game. We had a fun adventure. Now go read a book and go play a game and sing a little tune. Go read a book and go play a game. We'll see you back here soon. See you next time, friends.